Hello and welcome to Avio's Journey. Happy Monday, June 3rd, and welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to be coming to you on, it's not the first day technically of summer, but it certainly feels that way. The kids have only a couple more days left in school, at least here in Virginia, and my wife is a teacher, so she has Friday's her last day, and then they're all home, and I'm very excited to have them home because it's lonely here all day. But anyways, it's nice to have them back, and it's exciting to be heading into summer. I just feel very bright and vibrant today. It's nice. The sun is shining, and it's been shining the last couple days, which has been nice because we went through a whole bunch of rain. But anyways, today, I am really looking forward to talking to you about, the title of this video today and podcast is Think Voiceover Big. This we kind of touched on it today, this morning in our coffee time, but I want to really dive into this and how this can change your life, I think, and give you the background on this, as well as really help you build a successful voiceover business. Real quick, before we dive into that, make sure, as always, you're checking out Avio's Journey Elite Academy. We've had such an amazing outcry, I think, or outpour of support and signups for the Academy through our latest special. So, it's kind of nice to keep that up a little bit longer. I don't know, could go down any day, but we'll see what happens, because it's just been nice to see so many more people discovering the Academy and joining and checking us out. So make sure you head over there to check out Avio's Journey Elite Academy. And also don't forget too that we have Avio's Journey Elite voiceover conference coming up, right? We've done this for 2 years already. This will be our third year, and I believe the dates this year are October 11th through the 13th. These dates, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We typically have around 15 to 20 speakers of all kinds. I mean, the last couple of years, we've had so many amazing titans in the industry come and talk, as well as, casting directors, producers, the CEOs from all the big sites, and just a lot of great content. Like I said, it's a 3-day event. You literally were just there all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's really magical. And of course, when you buy a ticket, it's online and everything, you get access to the recordings as well. So it's not like if you can't make it on one of those days or something, you can't watch the replay. So I'm very excited about that. So we'll be posting more as we nail down the lineup and everything, and we'll launch probably ticket sales. Usually launch about a month or two in advance. Since it's online, you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it from your house. We've had over 100 people come each time, so it's been a real success. And hopefully this year we'll have even more. So really thrilled for that. All right, let's dive into this. To what we're talking about today. Think voiceover big. And this, to me, this stems from a book that I read called E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. And this book really, it changed my path, my trajectory, my life. Basically, the book is it's the story line kind of goes where there's this guy, Michael Gerber, and, he kind of grew up, became an adult, was had his addictions, didn't do very much, got into sales and eventually got into business and then helping people with business as he became successful. And then it follows the storyline of a couple of businesses, one in particular where he's coaching this a woman who's running a bakery, and how to transform her business from a job to an actual business of systems, right? That has growth, that has specific goals, right? To get there. And it is an amazing look at, how to build an actual thriving business, right? That has a bright future, not just a mundane job, right? That we go to every single day. Because I can tell you it is possible to build a job. I mean, you can build a successful job, you can build not successful job, but you can build a very successful job, but job nonetheless. Meaning that when you stop, everything stops. And I think that's something that, we as voiceover actors really, and that's really on my mind a lot. Do you know what I mean? But I want to kind of talk about the three things here that one of the parts that he goes over in the book is that we have three people inside of us. Okay, basically, when it comes to business. And there's the entrepreneur, there's the manager, and then there's the technician or the worker, okay? And these three people play vital roles in your business, your life, all right? The entrepreneur's role is the person who sits back, dreams, right? They come up with ideas, all right? Solutions to the big problems. They're the ones who set the path forward. Where are we going? Why are we doing what we're doing? Right? What is the vision? Okay. The entrepreneur in you is what led you to start your voiceover business in the first place. Right? That was the entrepreneur. What if? Right? What could this be? What could happen? What could I become? What could I build? Do you know what I mean? Look at the possibilities. That was the entrepreneur inside you. All right. Now, the manager's job is to take those ideas, to take those dreams, those visions, and to turn them into a concrete, actionable plan. Okay. And to keep that organized, right? To organize and to keep that moving forward. They're the ones who really are that filter. Right? That filter where one side you have this stream of, ideas and vision and, philosophy and all these dreams going in. And then the outcomes from the manager needs to be organization, step-by-step processes, systems, right? Making sure that there are benchmarks. These sorts of things are what a manager does. And then lastly, you have the technician. This is the person who actually does the work. All right. Usually technicians don't like to bother with people. They're the ones who, people get in their way. Right? They're the ones who just want to do what they're good at. They just want to put their head down and work. Right? The harder they work, they feel the more successful they'll be if they're just left alone and able to work. Okay. Well, the book kind of what it goes into is that these three people, oftentimes that we as individuals, we are more of one person than we are of the others, right? Like we might be more of a technician than we are of a manager and entrepreneur. We might be more like the number one person we are is like a technician. Maybe the number two person is a manager and the number three is an entrepreneur. Or we are the number one is an entrepreneur and the number two is a technician and the third is a manager. All right, which is typically where I live. I live right where it's like 1 and 1 for me is usually an entrepreneur / technician. And manager for me, the organization of things and stuff, that's a part where that's not the biggest part of me. That's not the part where I shine at, right? So, and other people are very manager. Like my wife, she is like number one manager. She's a manager. She's organization. She's a math whiz. She is an organizer, right? But she's not like the entrepreneur part of her. That's not a big part. Right. And so she's manager / work technician. She manages technician. She's a worker and she's a manager. Entrepreneur, not so much. All right, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. Very rarely, I mean, it's extremely rare to find a person who is all three equally. That usually never happens. So why is that important? Well, because you have to have all three of these people working cohesively in tandem to really help your business move forward. But think of it this way. If you had an entrepreneur and you didn't have a manager, okay, there would be no one there. Like without the manager, you would have no one there to take the ideas and the things of an entrepreneur and actually mold them into something that is understandable and can be put into practice, right? There would be no organization. It would be just crazy free-for-all, rabbit hole after rabbit hole, thoughts, ideas, right? I mean, you need that, right? However, without the technician, there would be no one to take the organization and all the things that the manager said needs to be done to get done. There would be nothing there. Okay? All right? The same sort of thing. Now, again, if there was no manager, all right, well, think about this. If there was no entrepreneur and just a manager or just a technician, the technician would have nothing to do. I mean, what would they do? And if vice versa, if there was a technician and no manager, there would be nothing there. There'd be no system. There'd be no organization. The technician would just be working nonstop and accomplishing nothing, getting nowhere. And if you feel or hear yourself doing or like fitting into any of those scenarios I just listed, that could be what you find. I think a lot of people find themselves in variety of those different situations often. Like, for example, that last one, if you find yourself just working constantly and you feel like nothing's happening, all right, there's nothing moving forward, there doesn't seem to be anything being accomplished, even though you're working time and time again, it could be that the technician has taken over, right? And then the manager and the entrepreneur has been shoved to the side and they're not really a part of the equation anymore. All right. Or one, maybe the manager's a little bit more there and the entrepreneur is dead. The book says that the majority of people only use their entrepreneur side in the beginning of their business, right? That lightning struck. Why can't I do this? Right? Or, for us, right? Someone's always told me I had a good voice. I'm in the middle of my life. I've done this other stuff for so long. I'm ready for something new. This can't be it. This is all my thoughts, right? I want to create something of my own. I want a new adventure. You know what I mean? That's the entrepreneur in you, right? And a lot of times though, that's the only time lightning strikes for the entrepreneur. The rest of the time it goes to the manager, but then it goes straight to the technician, right? I got to learn my DAW. I got to work on my demos. I got to I got to put up all my stuff. I got to do this. I got to do that. That's just the technician who puts their head down and has to do the work. Okay. I got to audition. All right. And the entrepreneur gets shoved aside. So how the book so kind of putting all that together, if you find yourself in that situation, or maybe you're a person who is constantly trying to organize everything, right? Trying to make, the files be right, the system run correctly. What is my, step 1, step 2, step 3. Maybe you're that organizational person, that manager who likes to manage, but you find yourself not getting the work done. Right? All the work, like the work at the end, it's not getting done. Okay. But you're constantly in this idea, I got to get the organization. I got to get the processes. I got to get the system down. All right. Maybe you find yourself in that scenario. All right. But maybe you find yourself in the scenario where you're like, gosh, I could do this. I know I need to do that. I could be that. We could do this. We could try that. You have all these ideas, right? But nothing's being turned into a concrete plan, all right? That's organized, that has a process, that has systems to it, all right? And even though you're doing the work, maybe you're researching, maybe you're putting stuff together, maybe you're dabbling with this and that, you're trying, so there's work being done, but there's nothing organizational going on. You see what I mean? Like, you can be in any one of these categories, and they might seem very familiar to you. By me saying them out loud, they seem very familiar to me because I go through them. Okay, so the answer to this challenge we have, right? Because you'd say the challenge is, how do we utilize all three of these people to bring about a well-balanced business, right, that moves forward, that's actually a business and not a job? Okay, well, the answer is we build systems in our businesses, our lives, for these three individuals, right? Meaning, like, whether it's scheduling, whether it's, we do X, Y, Z on this day, and it's in this process, and we do this, and this system is this, and we have people who do that, and we work towards building this idea that the book calls, right, the franchise model. Right. And so the idea is, and I've said this, but I haven't said it in a long time, So I'm going to say it now. If I came to you and I said, I'm going to offer you $1 million for your voiceover business today, right now, all I need from you is your operating manual. I need to know how to operate your business. What do I need to do, right? How do I do what you do, the voiceover work? How do I market? How do I get how does the work come in? How do I sell? How do I accept money? I need, what is my, the website? Where do we sell through? I need all of that. I need from your operating manual. So if you just hand me your operating manual, explain to me how it works, and I'll be, I'll give you $1 million. I think 99.999% of all of us don't have one. Why? Because we are the business. We are the job, right? It's a job because we are the one that's fulfilling someone else's model. Now, this is important. Okay, very important. Think of, for example, ACX, all right? Or any website. You can think of any website, all right? But we're just going to use ACX. So someone somewhere came up with the idea, I'm going to build a business, right, to where I utilize online platforms and people to create, record, publish, monitor, and sell books, pay them, and then take a percentage of it. And all we have to do is I'm going to hire some people to maintain the software, all right, and build the platforms in which it goes through, all right, and so we're going to so they basically built a system to where we are their part of their dream. Now it's a give and take, right? Because we can do that and still build ours, because that's fine. I didn't say they don't overlap, but if you think about it like that, right? If you take a step back and think about how these things operate, but more importantly, how that system was developed and how it utilizes people trying to build their own thing, right? And utilizes a system, et cetera, and earns money day in, day out from people working on doing it, putting them up themselves, writing the books, putting them up there, et cetera, right? It's pretty ingenious. Okay, so that, if you look at it, is a system. And we all play a part in that system. When we're building our business, I think a lot of times we don't think about that at all, because we are the system. We are the system. So, and again, the idea here is to build, like I said, a business that you could sell. But the book clearly goes into to say that it is not only, it's not you, like you might not want to sell your business. That's not what this is about. Okay. It's still about building a business with systems, because I can tell you firsthand, one of my greatest challenges has been, in this business, has come to, climaxes, right? Or come to, plateaus, right? Like you get to a plateau, and I can tell you, for me, it's been very challenging to get past this last plateau I've been on. I've hit about, I think, 6 or 7. We hit plateaus in our business, right? You might be in one there. You get to a certain point, you're just not growing anymore. You're not getting more business. You're not seeing more revenue. It's not going away, right? Like your revenue's not going down per se. It fluctuates, but it's around the same. But you're not seeing growth, right? And you've hit a plateau. And it's getting to the next part over the, to get past that plateau that could be challenging. And, this is an insight, if you will, into, what could be happening inside your mind, your business, your systems. And again, it's not about you selling your business or building a franchise, but it is about building something that can grow with or without you. And when, it's interesting because what we do, that's very hard. If you think about it, it's very hard. Or is it? Do you know what I mean? That again, that's the thing, because you're like, well, of course it's hard because there's only one me and I'm doing my voiceover. That's right. But I do voiceover. I built Academy Voices as a solution to a lot of this. I can tell you that it has been extremely hard to build something, and it's been challenging because it's not been as successful when it comes to getting work that I would have liked it to be, or that I would like it to be, right? But it was my attempt, right, at helping voice actors get work, as well as leveraging all of us, me and more voice actors, so that we could do more together and build, and you know what I mean? Whereas I couldn't do all that by myself. But there was a lot of challenges that I ran into that I'm learning, which is, again, I get stuck in this technician mindset, right? I mean, I constantly, meaning like, I'll just do the work. I'll do the work. I'd rather do it myself. I just do the work. I do the work. And because of that, even with the organizational, but more so the entrepreneur side of me goes dormant when that happens. And what happens is that there are challenges to this, meaning, there has to be more stuff happening at once. I mean, there has to be a person or persons marketing. There has to be a person or persons working diligently day in and day out with talent, cultivating them, growing them, making sure they're on the same page, making sure they're ready to go, they have everything they need. There needs to be someone who is managing or people managing the website itself, the systems, the code, all these things that come up and go down. There's the financial aspect. There's all of these things. And one of my biggest challenges, honestly, and I know it, is, hiring people, pulling the trigger, figuring out what jobs to do and stuff. It's challenging to me. So, I think because I've had bad experiences in the past, and we all come to limits. So what happens is you might find yourself at the limit of where you are right now with your personal growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you are comfortable with. And to go to that next level, there's got to be some uncomfort there. And figuring it out, working with someone maybe you don't know, and that's where you work with a coach or coaches, or you join the VO's Journey Lead Academy, or you do XYZ, and like you know what I'm saying. These are things that help you get past those moments where you've reached a plateau, you've gone as far as you can go with the knowledge you have and the things you have at that moment. But I really do recommend you read The E-Myth Revisited. It's a great book. And it's by Michael Gerber. I think it will blow your mind. And this isn't about building a franchise where you're going to sell your business one day. But don't forget, the biggest reason why most people build a business, or at least what we try, right, is because most businesses, most. Now, I'm not talking about the Apples and all these businesses. I'm talking about most business, small to medium-sized businesses, make the majority of their money when they're sold. Okay, they make the majority of their money when they're sold. So we have to think, and you might be like, well, that's not what I'm doing. Again, that's the whole point of this, though, is for me to share with you why I think this is a good idea to read this book and to work through what the processes are here. Because even if you want to just do this for the rest of your life, which is wonderful, and be successful at it, it's important to have systems and processes in place for you, yourself. Or what if you go on vacation? What if you are out, what if you, God forbid, what if you can't talk for a couple of weeks or a month? This has happened. I mean, I remember when I was out for a couple of weeks with COVID, y'all remember that? And I couldn't talk, literally. I literally couldn't talk. I mean, some of you face different things, or you're just sick and you can't do voiceover, or you can't do this. I mean, like, there are times where stuff will happen, or you want to go on vacation. You don't want to take your equipment and be recording in a closet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to think beyond just what the technician looks in front of us, right? That's the entrepreneur's job, and then the manager's job is to figure out to organize that, right? To figure out the actionable steps. So it's a really great book, and it goes to show that the majority of what we don't do is think about the future of our business, about the possibilities. And what an entrepreneur's job also is to do is to come up with solutions to challenges, right? The business, there's a challenge in the business. Like, a challenge could be you don't have a lot of time. That's a big challenge. You're working all day, you're working all night, you don't have a lot of time. You have to figure out what is the best way to leverage the time I have. right? Your entrepreneur side of you has to come up with ideas, right? And not all of them are going to be good, but they're ideas, okay? And your ideas are there. That's your fuel, right? Then to give to the manager who says, okay, we've got this idea. How can we turn this into a reality? What are the actionable steps that need to happen to take this idea, this direction, this vision that you've given us and turn it into reality? And the technician's job is to implement, right? To implement that process, that step-by-step process the managers come up with from the vision and the direction, the solution that the entrepreneur came up. You see, you have to have all these components. If you don't have all three, it's like a ship running without a captain, without a direction, without a rudder. You're just running really super hard. It's like the hamster on the wheel, man. You're going a million miles. You're running as fast as you can, and you're going nowhere. Okay, getting a hell of a workout, but you're not getting anywhere. So, all right, I hope that this has gotten you to think about thinking and the different people inside of us and what it means to think, all right, and being an entrepreneur, being a manager, being a technician. Check out that book, E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. It'll change your life. Thank you guys so much as always for listening, watching. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, the like button, all that jazz. Check out Avio's Journey Elite Academy, okay, where we're helping people put these systems together. And I really hope to see you there. And happy summer. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye, everybody.